Feat.
Well, what a race! I mean, so much, so difficult with the conditions, rain, on, off, and you know, Max, he did an amazing job, a really incredible drive. Obviously, you know, the first pit stop, and then having to come back through the field with some staying out on slicks, some going to the inters. Then obviously getting through the part of the race that everything settled down. He was able to build a lead and had everything under control. Checo. Yeah, massive progress as well from 7th on the grid. And then the rain came. We knew it was coming, you know, and then the stoppage, and of course, you know, when you're at the front, you can only lose. So then a great restart and managed to close out the race. So you know, just very disappointed that we didn't have Checo up there with that 5-second penalty.
It's tiring just reviewing it, isn't it? It's so full on.
There was a lot to deal with there for Max. I mean, I have to say, you know, the only thing I can compare that to, for me, he's done it. He's absolutely ticked all the boxes today. Everything was thrown at him, not only in front of your home crowd, but all those changing conditions. He kept his cool and he delivered. I mean, Schumacher, I used to look at him and think, why doesn't he make a mistake? Why doesn't he drop the ball? He didn't ever even look like dropping the ball this time.
Well, it's remarkable. I mean, the expectation on him. I mean, you guys have been here and witnessing, you know, just how much noise and support that he's had, and that, of course, you know, everybody feels that. We all feel that within the team, and you know, watching him on the grid, keeping himself, you know, in the zone, being able to distance himself from it and focus on getting the job done. You know, it's truly impressive, and to match, you know, Sebastian's record of 9 straight victories. You know, the fact that we've achieved it twice now, you know, as a team, you know, is something very special to us.
It is.
I think we were all predicting a 2 stop maybe at the start of the race. No one was predicting the 6 or 7 stops that you ended up doing, which was incredible. Yeah. For me, the race really changed that first call to get on that inter when others, I think, were hoping that the rain wouldn't be as bad as it actually turned out. You were ahead of the game on that. So
well, it was tricky because, you know, when you're the first car, very hard to make that call. You know, Checo pulled the trigger early, made a great call, got in. The team reacted super fast. We got him back out. We then got Max in immediately. Others we were surprised to stay out. And then, of course, you know, Max then started coming through the field so quickly. Checo at the front had pulled a good gap as well and was focused on trying to get a pit stop over the cars behind. So yeah, that was pivotal in that first part of getting the calls right.
Sergio seemed surprised about the undercut from Max. He was clearly given the strategy advantage over him, even though Perez was in the lead. Why was that?
Well, there was a couple of reasons behind making that decision, because one was that we'd obviously had Alonso taking the slicks as well, and I think it was Gasly behind him, and the pace of the undercut. If we'd have pitted Checo first and Max the second lap, we had the risk of coming out after that had shaken down of being 1st and 4th, rather than, obviously, the risk was for Checo because Max was catching at, I think, 7 seconds in 3 laps. You know, his outlap was so extreme. It took us slightly by surprise that, you know, Max jumped Checo. So you know, just so much happening in very variable conditions.
A little bit of threat there from Aston Martin and the old fox Fernando at the end there. A little bit of palpitations, perhaps.
Not too bad. I mean, you know, with Fernando, he's going to give it a go, and he is an old fox. I mean, he timed the restart well, and the most fearful thing for me at that final restart is none of them have found their breaking point, and we've seen so many cars go straight on at turn 1. We saw Checo do it, we saw, you know, the Ferraris do it, at so many cars, and so to get that first breaking point was crucial, and you know, Max did that, you know, then built the tire temperature, found the temperature, and was able to pull out the gap. So you know, it had everything thrown at him today to achieve that 9th victory, but very special for him to do it here.
I have to say, I do feel a bit sorry for Checo because he had such an eventful race, didn't he? And then to get that penalty at the end there.
Well, yeah, he made a great first call to get in early. He was one of the first to get onto the inters. The next call he made at the pit entrance. So of course the team weren't ready for it, but it was reacting to the weather, and we were still able to turn it round. He was just desperately unlucky because it looks like he got the fine for speeding in the pit lane when he came into the pits before the red flag. And he's hit the pit wall up there, which is why the repairs were taking place on his car. And then to pick up the 5-second penalty, he was probably actually surfing at that point as opposed to speeding. But yeah, very harsh for him, and yeah, he deserves very much to be on the podium today.
Well, you all deserve a huge amount of praise. Well done, Christian. A fantastic result for you and the team. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Now, as we alluded to there, Fernando Alonso pushed all the way, and with doing that, he took the fastest lap, which was impressive stuff. Bernie, you're laughing, but it just goes to show there's such a